If you are flying alone after 70, this video is for you. Maybe you used to travel with a spouse who handled the details. Now those details are yours. Here is the part nobody tells you. The airport does not give you a break for your age. It gives you specific rights, but only if you know to ask. There are 12 things that separate a smooth solo trip from a stressful one. Some are about security. One could save you from a bill over $150,000. Let us start with the one most people get wrong. I'm Jayden. I read the fine print so you do not have to. For decades, you may have leaned on someone else at the airport. The person who carried the bag. The person who knew the gate. Flying solo after 70 means you are now your own logistics manager. That sounds heavy. It is not. It just means knowing the rules before you stand in line. The travelers who struggle are not the frail ones. They are the surprised ones. So we are going to remove every surprise. 12 of them. By the end, you will walk through that terminal knowing exactly what happens at each step. And I will give you the one move that protects you from the most expensive mistake a solo senior can make. It does not happen at security. It happens before you ever leave home. Keep that in mind. We will come back to it. Number 1. The rule about being 75 and older is not what you think. If you are 75 or older, TSA lets you keep your shoes and a light jacket on at standard screening. Many seniors hear that and assume they are exempt from the rest. You are not. The moment the scanner or the metal detector alarms, that courtesy ends. You can be selected for a full pat-down at any time. Age does not change that. So treat the shoes-on rule as a starting point, not a guarantee. Arrive ready to be screened like anyone else. When you expect it, it stops being stressful. Number 2. There is a free phone call that changes the whole experience. It is called TSA Cares. You call 855-787-2227 at least 72 hours before your flight. A passenger support specialist meets you right at the checkpoint. This is a specially trained officer. They walk you through screening and explain your medical needs to the staff. For a solo traveler, this is the closest thing to having someone with you, and it costs nothing. Put that number in your phone now. 855-787-2227. Call before every trip. This single step removes more worry than almost anything else on this list. Number 3. If you have a pacemaker or a defibrillator, one machine is off limits. Never walk through the old metal detector with an implanted heart device. The electromagnetic field can interfere with how the device works. In the worst case, that interference happens right there at the checkpoint. You have the right to refuse. Ask for the body scanner instead. It uses harmless radio waves. Or request a hand pat-down. Carry your device card from the manufacturer and show it to the officer. If they use a handheld wand, tell them not to hold it over the device. You set that boundary. They will respect it. Number 4. There is a card that helps you, but it does not do what most people think. TSA offers a printable notification card. You write your condition on it and hand it to the officer. Many travelers believe this card excuses them from screening. It does not. The card itself says so, in plain words. Its real job is private. It tells the officer about your situation without you announcing it to a crowded line. It can earn you a private screening room and a more careful pat-down. Use it for dignity, not as a pass. That is what it is built for. Number 5. Your medications follow different rules than everything else in your bag. Pills have no limit. Bring as many as you need. Liquid medication is allowed even over 3.4 ounces, in reasonable amounts. Here is the catch. The word reasonable is decided by the officer in front of you. What feels obvious to you may look like too much to them. Remove the guesswork. Carry the prescription or a short letter from your doctor. Tell the officer you have medically necessary liquids before they go through the X-ray. Documentation turns a debate into a formality. Number 6. Now slow down for a second. This next one is small. It ruins more trips than the big ones. If you carry insulin or another medication that must stay cold, you will pack an ice pack. The normal rule says ice packs must be frozen solid, or they count as a liquid. But a melted ice pack cooling real medication gets thrown out by travelers who do not know the exception. The medicine warms up. The trip is damaged before it even starts. The exception is simple. If the ice pack is cooling a medically necessary medication, it is allowed. Solid, slushy, or melted, but you must declare it. Take the cooler out of your bag. Tell the officer what it is before it reaches the scanner. Number 7. If you travel with oxygen, the batteries are where people get stranded. Spare batteries for a portable oxygen concentrator can never go in a checked bag. They must ride in the cabin with you. Pack them in your suitcase and they get pulled at the counter. Worse, a battery that is too large or unapproved can be denied. Then you board without enough oxygen. So do 3 things. Keep every spare battery in your carry-on. Bring enough power for 1.5 times your flight time. And call the airline disability desk at least 48 hours ahead. If your batteries are large, you are limited to 2 spares, and you need the airline's approval first. Number 8. Wheelchair help exists, but who pushes you matters. You can request wheelchair assistance, and the law protects your right to it. Ask for it when you book, not at the airport. Here is what surprises people. The person pushing your chair is a contractor. They are not a trained caregiver or a nurse. They get you from point to point, nothing more. So plan around that. Arrange the help early so a pusher is assigned to you. And know your rights. Under the Air Carrier Access Act, your own wheelchair gets priority over every other piece of cargo on the plane. It is not optional for the airline. Quick note before the last few. Everything I am covering today, plus printable checklists you can take to the airport, lives in the Senior Traveler's Guide. There is a full chapter in there built just for solo travelers. It walks through each of these step by step in one place. The link is in the description if you want the deeper version. Now back to it. Number 9. If you are counting on family to walk you to the gate, read this first. A non-traveling family member can ask for a gate pass to escort you through security, but the airline can only request it. They cannot promise it. The final decision belongs to the top TSA official at that airport that day. On a high alert day, every one of those passes can be denied. Then you are past security alone, and your family is stuck behind it. Never build your plan around a gate pass. Arrange airline assistance instead. And here is a quiet workaround. Your family member can buy a refundable ticket, walk you to the gate, then cancel it before it departs. Number 10. There is a new fee waiting at the checkpoint if your ID is not ready. Real ID is being enforced in phases with full enforcement on May 5, 2027. You need a license with the star, or a passport, to fly. Show up without an accepted ID and you hit the new TSA Confirm ID step. It costs $45. It is non-refundable. It is only good for 10 days, and it does not guarantee you get through. Do not gamble on this. Check your license for the star now. If it is missing, bring your passport. Seniors are most at risk here because old name changes can confuse the verification system. Number 11. This is the one I told you to remember. The most expensive mistake happens before you leave home. If you travel outside the United States, here is the hard truth. Original Medicare does not cover you abroad. Not the hospital, not the doctor, not the ambulance. Some Medigap plans add a small foreign emergency benefit, but it only works for the first 60 days. It pays 80% after a $250 deductible, and it caps at $50,000 for your entire life. A single serious emergency burns through that fast. Worst of all, it will not pay to fly you home. So before any international trip, buy a separate travel medical insurance policy. Make sure it includes medical evacuation. That is, the Medevac flight home. That one policy stands between you and a 6-figure bill. Number 12. Coming home. There is a free tool that gets you through customs faster. When you fly back into the United States, you face the customs line. After a long flight, standing there is the last thing you want. There is a free app called Mobile Passport Control. It is not global entry. There is no fee, no interview, no background check. You submit your passport and customs form on your phone when you land. Then you use a faster, separate lane. For a solo traveler managing your energy, that saved time and standing is worth a lot. And it costs nothing but a few minutes of setup. So look at what just happened. 12 things that used to be unknowns are now things you can handle. The shoes rule, the free phone call, the heart device machine to refuse, the card that protects your privacy, your medications, the cooler you declare, your oxygen batteries, the wheelchair help and who pushes it, the gate pass you never rely on, the ID fee you avoid, the Medicare gap you cover, and the free app that gets you home. You do not need to worry about any of this. You just need to know it, and now you do. If this made the airport feel smaller, subscribe so the next one finds you, and share it with someone you know who is flying alone soon. Next, we go deeper on one of these. Flying with a pacemaker in 2026, and exactly what TSA will and will not do. I'll see you there.